have a special guest coming up, right? But we got to make sure we bring him in right because he's not a just your normal guest. And we saw what Lavelle Davis did last game, and it had me thinking, man, first year receiver jumping up out the gym like that, high point in the football. Who could we get? Because you heard a name everybody kept saying during that game, right? So, matter of fact, let me give you guys a little bit. Let me give you guys a flashback of what went down before I bring in my guest. If they could just roll the film, radio guy, take it away.
Here's
Dave.
the pressure from the left side. Armstrong lofts this one to the back of the end zone. Ooh, Davis again, wow. And he makes the catch. Touchdown, Virginia. And Lavelle Davis outleaps his man to make that play.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, we will refer to that as getting mossed.
Yeah, that's definitely getting mossed. That's 6'7", first-year receiver Lavelle Davis Jr. Take a picture, click, click. I called him the air up there. I never jumped that high, so I don't know what it feels like to be up there that high. But wait a minute, we seen somebody do this before. We seen somebody wearing the 80 number plucking it out the air before, and he was a high jumper. Look at, he got sweet feet too. Look at the speed. Dance on him, Herm. Dance on him. How you gonna get? And just like that, we got a goat in the building. Well, all Lavelle Davis did, all I kept hearing was, man, it reminded me of Herman Moore. And we said, you know what? We got to get Herman Moore in the building. Herm, what's good with you, OG?
Hey, not much, man. I appreciate you having me. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, man, I'm glad that you came up here, Herman. You know, you're a legend. You're not only legendary around here in Charlottesville, but just in college football and the NFL. But before we go that far, let's take it all the way back. Do you remember your first game here for the university, and how did you fare compared to young Lavelle Davis with 100 yards and 2 touchdowns?
You know, I didn't fare that well, but I remember just going out and just being nervous, and that's when I knew that the stage was big. It was a lot bigger than high school, and for this guy to come in as a freshman, Davis, I thought. I was looking at his hands, though, and I was looking at around that football, and the first thing I noticed, I said, are they playing with a smaller football in college football these days, or either his hands are huge? But nonetheless, man, just where he is right now, I think he's above where I was, probably just my maturity and my ability to be able to get there.
Well, Herm, I got a question for you, man. You're such a special player and a special human being. They already got a question for you from Facebook. Jason Chittum asked Herman what he thinks of the comparison that Lavelle Davis is getting towards you. You know, what are your thoughts?
You know what? I came in, I had the red shirt my first year, and then just having the opportunity to get in and play, it was very sporadic. I didn't have the opportunity to go in there and start and play a lot of plays, so I had to make the most of any opportunities that were given. But with him, you look at the way kids train and the way they have the opportunity to get prepared going from one level to the next. The transition from high school to college is a little bit smoother, I think, than what it was then. But there's not much you can take away from that other than I think that this young man's got a bright future. He's going to put on more weight, believe it or not. I saw that he was 6'7", I think a little over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
But believe me, once he starts to really fill in, he's going to become someone who's very dominant and going to be tough for defensive backs to deal with.
And, Herm, we talked about the receiver position. A lot of guys don't understand. Like, a lot of tall receivers don't play tall. Like, you were one of the few guys that played behind your height because you high-pointed. Not only did you high-point everything, I think a lot of people don't realize you're one of a rare receiver that never really caught the ball with his body. You always use your hands. And I see with this young man, he's using his hands. Do you feel like a lot of big receivers allow short guys like myself that play DB to, better guard them because they catch with their body opposed to high pointing and using their hands?
That was one of the biggest things. I know that Coach Tom Sherman, he was my coach, my receivers coach when I was at UVA, and being a former quarterback, not only about ball placement, but just extending our arms. I mean, he taught us as wide receivers, the entire unit. It wasn't just with me, just to make sure we stick our hands out and make sure that we're able to not give the defensive back that ability to stick their hand in there. So it does give us an advantage when you catch with your hands.